Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning. It's Brekky in the Cave, myself, Cova in the hot seat. I was very nearly late this morning, you know. Woke up, camera wouldn't load. Nothing worked, it was horrible. We're back online. Nice and on time. Kicking off with something from Brainwork. This one at Nothing Left. Out to the early morning locked in crew, get your comments in nice and early. And we'll have a proper intro in just a second. Beautiful stuff on this one from a man like Brainwork. Really cool tune. This one popped up on my feed a couple of days ago. How are we all doing this morning, my friends? It's Brekky in the Cave, live on CubCam TV, youtube.com/CubCam TV, at KXVU as well. Wicked show on the way. Loads of stuff to talk about, loads of bangers. You know how we do. We like to keep it nice and fresh. So, first of all, I want to wish a very happy morning to everyone who does tune into the show. This is Brekky in the Cave, 10 till 11:30, Monday to Friday. As you all know, I do normally host a breakfast show over on Trickstar Radio. And as we can't get into the studio at the minute, this is how we are kind of doing at the moment. This is what we're doing. We're running this show on this channel. The channel has tripled in viewership since we started running the show. So there we go. It is definitely growing, which is something that's really, really cool to see. The daily listenership is growing. The average listen time is growing. So I feel we definitely are onto something which is quite useful indeed, and I feel quite informative. Yesterday we were joined by Callum Martin, which was really, really cool. Looking into some tips and tricks for social media that artists may well have missed. Ideally looking at Reddit and stuff like that. really good ways of promoting yourself as an artist. Today, we're going to be talking to a man like DJ Spookz, a real veteran of the UK bass scene through label work, alongside also some of the biggest collaborations that he's had in the last few years. Some really, really cool stuff to talk about there. We also have some bangers on the way from the likes of Red Eye, Hi-Fi. We've got some new music from Flowdown. We've got some new Laughter as well. I got sent over her brand new album yesterday, which is really, really cool. Some new Benji Flow, alongside some new Earthnut, some new Elena, and some new Telemakers as well. There's going to be bangers dipped in here and everywhere as we go forward. But for the time being, I'm going to throw in a brand new one from myself, which is a rare thing for me to say these days. I don't normally play my own stuff. I haven't really made any music in the last 7 months, but I got a whack of inspiration, shall we say, over the weekend break, which was really, really fun. Actually, to be able to sit down and make something and the project kind of come together smoothly, which is something I'm sure everyone suffers with. I do get writer's block quite badly. I never used to when I was younger, and I feel I've hit that point maybe where the ideas are starting to run dry, which is why I'm not, I don't make that much music anymore, shall we say. But this one is my not official, it's very unofficial, let's be honest. It's my bootleg of Doja Cat's Say So. It's a UKG flip. This one is coming out very, very soon. It's going to be dropping as a free download. Again, follow gated to this channel just so we can build the following up on the YouTube as we like to do. So don't go anywhere, keep it locked. It's just gone 6 minutes past 10 here on Cubcam TV. It's Brekky in the Cave with myself, Kovu, and it's going to be a wonderful, wonderful morning. This one then, my refix of Doja Cat's Say So. Brand new business. And I hope everyone's enjoying. Lovely flavours on this one. How are we doing this morning? It's Cubcam TV. Myself, Kovu, in the hot seat till 11:30, waking up your weekday mornings with a dash of fresh energy, shall we say. Out to all the new listeners this morning, make sure you're hitting that subscribe button. We are here Monday to Friday, bringing you fresh flavours and bringing you some good vibes as well, keeping you up to date with the latest news from around the UK and beyond. We're trying to steer clear of negativity on this show, you know what I mean? We're trying to bring you good news, good vibes and things like that. So obviously, it's very important to take in the negative aspects of what's currently going on, primarily for people's safety more than anything else, but we do want to keep spirits high, and I feel this show has a duty to maintain that. So what we're going to be looking at next is this very interesting story regarding Pioneer's new app, essentially, which has been floating around the stratosphere for the last few days. This one comes courtesy of DJ Mag. Really, really cool news here. But yes, DJM REC has had its trial extended, and it's now and its limits reset for all users, essentially. Pioneer has made their mix and recording and streaming app DJM REC free for 90 days. The original trial period was 30 days and has been extended to 90, and users and especially for users who have exhausted their trial, already having their limits reset. So you can use the app again for free. Good stuff. Thank you, Pioneer. It's very kind of you. The app can record mixes directly from certain compatible mixers using a single USB cable from the USB send and return port. Otherwise, it supports USB core audio devices that your phone or tablet does. It's also a great option for streaming your sets to Facebook, YouTube, and more, as the app can stream directly into those services. You can also share your set to Mixcloud, SoundCloud, Dropbox, and Dubstep once it's all been recorded. You can download the iOS app online. What's wrong with me today? I can't read. It's brilliant. But yeah, really, really cool stuff. I'm happy Pioneer have done this. I'll tell you what, I've always struggled to find a way of recording mixes. I think for some reason it's something that seems to elude a lot of people. The actual recording of mixes, especially when people are starting out, it always seems to be a bit of a struggle. I've spoken to people in the last couple of weeks actually who have been telling me, yeah, I've never recorded a mix before, so I don't really know how to actually go through that process of physically recording one. And I suppose the more you look into it, the more it makes sense. People don't necessarily record mixes as much now. People do sort of Ableton live sets. People do sort of pre-recorded mixes on screen and stuff like that, which is all fair enough. It's all part of the same thing. And I think a mix is a mix at the end of the day. You know what I mean? But yeah, very interesting stuff. And I think more than anything else, I think it's just a good move from Pioneer to put it out there. I like the fact that so many people are putting free apps out there, or not even necessarily free apps. They're putting apps out there that weren't free beforehand and now are free. I think it's really, really good to see. And I think as well as that, we're starting to see a lot of companies really, really get behind musicians, which is sick to see. Something else we've seen over the past few days is the Kiwi Cup going on and on and on. There's been loads of new people submitting their tracks for it. There's been loads of new uploads for it over the past few days. I've had about 6 or 7 in my inbox, which we're going to be hopefully looking through on either Thursday or Friday. I'm going to run through and do my favourite selections from the Kiwi Cup. There's loads on there. We've been sorting out loads of new interviews for the show as well. This is all stuff that's going to be on the way. There's loads of interviews popping next week. We've got some very exclusive ones. So far as to say that I'm not going to actually let anyone know what they are just yet, because I'm very excited to announce them all on the at the weekend more than anything else. So we're going to get into this one coming from MPH. This one is the MPH remix of Cool Today from Prescribe the Vibe. This one so far, I'd probably say, is my standout of the Kiwi Cup. For those who don't know what the Kiwi Cup is, Kiwi Recordings have put some stems out there, and they are basically asking people to remix them and put together their take on some of the biggest Kiwi Recordings tunes of the last sort of year or so. And this is my favourite one so far off the Prescribe the Vibe EP. Cool Today. This is the MPH remix. For new listeners, make sure you are subscribing to the channel, because every subscriber helps, and it makes a whole load of difference. As I said before, the channel has tripled in popularity since we started doing this Brekky In The Cave stream, which was around 4 weeks ago. So there we go. It's tripled in 4 weeks, which is really, really cool to see. So do subscribe, do leave a comment, let us know how you're feeling. That little live chat box in the corner, say hi, and we can go from there. Let's keep these unsociable times as sociable as possible. Keep it locked. It's Brekky In The Cave. Wicked flavours on this one. MPH, Cool Today. Original by Prescribe the Vibe. Kiwi Cup Business. I think on Thursday I'm going to run through all of them, you know. All of my favourite ones. If you're in the Kiwi Cup, send me your tunes. Wicked flavours on that one. Fantastic stuff from MPH. His remix of Cool Today by Prescribe the Vibe. Make sure you follow the Kiwi Recordings crew, MPH, Prescribe the Vibe, and keep up to date with what's going on with the Kiwi Cup because there is loads of stuff on the way. Right then, 17 minutes past 10 here. We're live on COLLABING TV. As I said before, please do drop a subscribe on the channel. Makes a huge difference to the growth of the channel, especially if these live streams are going to be if these live streams are affecting the figures. It makes a huge difference to people being able to see the live streams, so on and so forth. Now, I don't know who's been following the sort of clash culture scenario that's been going on Instagram over the past few weeks. We've seen loads of people clashing. RZA jumped in one. The big one that's currently like on the cards apparently is Ja Rule and 50 Cent. There's loads of stuff going back and forward on this. I've seen a couple of articles pop up on different websites about this this morning. There's obviously a feud between 50 Cent and Ja Rule, which has been well documented over the past 2 decades, and it looks like the new event could be added to the timeline, with several artists, producers, and DJs using Instagram Live for battles during quarantine. Ja Rule has said he is open to have one with his arch rival 50 Cent. There we go. Ja confirmed he is willing to battle 50 Cent while on IG Live with Fat Joe and Swizz Beatz recently, saying I'll behave if a clash does happen. 50 Cent hasn't reacted to the call out just yet, but 950 was sure he'll have something on the way very soon. If he isn't making another series of Power, if he isn't currently working on season 36 and all 12 spin-offs of Power right now. To be honest, it's actually been quite mad. I haven't seen a Power update in 3 months, which is the longest I've ever gone without seeing a Power update. But there we go. Interesting stuff. It is quite fun seeing all these sort of UK hip-hop, not UK hip-hop, sorry. Seeing all of these sort of real classic hip-hop names clashing on Instagram Live. I don't know when it happened or why it started happening, but I am actually really, really enjoying it because I think it shows an acceptance of clash culture, and it shows it's something that entertains people, you know what I mean? Clashing is an art form which will always entertain people. It will always make people want to watch it. It'll always make people... it'll always hold people's attention. I don't know why that is, and I don't know why people do find clash culture just so interesting. It's something that I find undoubtedly one of the most interesting things in the world. Be that from battle rap through to sound clashing, through to like Instagram clashing, and everything along those lines. But it's just a very interesting kind of layup, you know what I mean? I just find clashing in general very interesting. And so does everyone else, clearly. Otherwise, all these clashes wouldn't be happening. So I'm going to play something next off a brand new album I was sent over yesterday. This next one comes from Laughter, who has released her brand new album, and it's full of amazing collaborations. This one is track 9 of that project, goes by the name of Scream and Shout, and it features 20 Bands Toria. We're going to get into this one now, and I can safely say we do have an interview locked in with Laughter next week following the release of this album, which should be really, really cool. As I said before, the guests over the next couple of weeks or so are going to be amazing. Some real like step-ups in people we're going to be having on the show, so I'm really looking forward to the next few weeks, to be honest with you. So do hit that subscribe button and follow at KXVU on all the socials. You'll find out more and more about what's going on. We are going to start doing top five videos on this channel as well. basically listing my favourite top 5 tracks from artists, primarily instrumentals to begin with. I can safely say the first one that we did start planning, I say we, it's literally me and my phone, started planning the script for yesterday was Wiley. So we're going to do a top 5 Wiley instrumentals project very, very soon. So you'll see why these are my 5 favourite instrumentals, etc., etc. And if it goes well and if it's a bit popular, then we'll start doing other ones as well as we go forward. Ideally a Da Vinci one, because Da Vinci's like my go-to guy in grime. But anyway, back to what we were talking about a couple of seconds ago. This one is Laughter, Scream and Shout featuring 20 Bands Toria. Don't go anywhere. We are live on COLLABING TV. It's Brekky In The Cave.
Bushwick Production.
See from now, I don't want to scream and shout. I'm just flexing now. My boss heard we said referee is foul, foul.
Able to plug.
See from now, I don't wanna scream and shout. I'm just flexing now. My boss heard we said referee is foul, foul. Whereabout? Got a lot of wins and clout. Got to break bread, want a whole meal, not a slice. Let me keep it real, I'm nice. See from now, I don't wanna scream and shout. I'm just flexing now. My boss heard we said referee is foul, foul. Whereabout? Got a lot of wins and clout. Got to break bread, want a whole meal, not a slice. Let me keep it real, I'm nice. From back then, I knew I would blaze that pen. I knew I would fake like them. So from now, my own best friend. See from now, I don't wanna talk my moves. I'm a gateway, won't lose. Don't do theirs, but I say my truth. Pull up on them, I'm barring. I'm a cute Lebanese girl, bring the car in. I evolve real quickly like Darwin, so I don't jam no more, they're jarring. Got a few combos on hold, and a few contacts on road. Got a few handbags that I hold. Not gonna lie, I'm nice and cold. Laughter. See from now, I don't wanna scream and shout. I'm just flexing now. My boss heard we said referee is foul, foul. Whereabout? Got a lot of wins and clout. Got to break bread, want a whole meal, not a slice. Let me keep it real, I'm nice. See from now, I don't wanna scream and shout. I'm just flexing now. My boss heard we said referee is foul, foul. Whereabout? Got a lot of wins and clout. Got to break bread, want a whole meal, not a slice. Let me keep it real, I'm nice.
Yeah, I'm too real, they can't take me. I'm way ahead of my time. I bet that they think I was born in the 80s. Off of my rocket, they say that I'm tripping. They saying that I'm going crazy. If you wanna hate me, then hate me. But I'm doing better, just face it. I'm going different, I see all the hate in their faces. I know they can't take it. I just be doing this thing for fun. But hey, if I make it, I make it. Don't walk around with a chip on my shoulder, but I'm holding weight so it's aching. Nah, I ain't perfect, I know that. All of my flaws had to learn to embrace it. They ain't expecting me to be so humble when I done came rough in the pavement. Pull up and I'm rocking the latest. Something all black like races. Told me I can't have my cake and eat it too, but guess what? I ate it. Blow on my phone like they wanna talk, so I had to tell them to save it. Yeah, born in 2001. And Gemini's my son. I looked in the mirror and said I'm a Donnie. I bet I compare me to none.
Wicked flavours on this one.
Love from a slice, should be lucky I ain't
Laughter and 20 Bands Toria.
day ones, cause when I'm up, they ain't gonna need nothing.
See from now, I don't wanna scream and shout. I'm just flexing now. My boss heard we said referee is foul, foul. Whereabout? Got a lot of wins and clout. Got to break bread, want a whole meal, not a slice. Let me keep it real, I'm nice. See from now, I don't wanna scream and shout. I'm just flexing now. My boss heard we said referee is foul, foul. Whereabout? Got a lot of wins and clout.
Wicked flavours. Scream and Shout. That one off the brand new project from Laughter, which I believe goes by the name of Mood Swings. If I'm correct, I may be incorrect on that one, but I believe it goes by the name of Mood Swings. Again, check out the project. It is out now. I'm full of really, really interesting collaborations, some real global collaborations on there as well, which I do like to see. I'm a big fan of kind of long distance collaborations. I think it tends to breed some really, really interesting results most of the time. But yeah, we're going to be looking into a conversation with DJ Spookz in about 5 minutes or so. Before that, though, I've got to say it's a good morning for Pioneer. They are smashing it this morning. Pioneer DJ announced Record Box 6 with cloud storage and DJ Sync. Performance mode is also now free in the new update. They've announced a major update of Record Box. Version 6 adds a feature called Cloud Library Sync, allowing users to upload their collections to a linked Dropbox account where they can access it across maximum of 4 different devices. Metadata and analysis information is also stored in the cloud and can be edited and synced back to the cloud as well. Huge update. This is a huge leap forward, primarily because it means You can access your library from anywhere, and I think in general that makes this very, very exciting indeed. I think if you are performing obviously with a Pioneer setup and you need to access it, it means all you're going to need access to is a Wi-Fi connection, or you'll probably be able to sync your library before you even leave, so it doesn't even matter that much. So there's a lot of cool stuff to come from this. I think Pioneer are absolutely smashing it at the moment. But yeah, performance mode, apparently the DJing aspect of Rekordbox is now free for all users as well, although not all hardware will work with the free version. Pioneer DJ has also introduced the new subscription tiers: free, core, and creative. Core costs $7.99 per month and creative costs $9.99 per month, both of which are introductory offers running until July, when they'll increase to $9.99 and $14.99 a month respectively. Users who subscribe before the end of the introductory offer will also continue to pay the lower price indefinitely. So there we go. Good stuff from Pioneer, keeping us entertained and full of new devices, new things we can do during this extended period of lockdown. I think we are officially in 4th week now of lockdown, which is nothing wrong with that. I think lockdown's a good idea, and it is actually it's definitely helping, I think. But yeah, we're going to jump into another tune before we jump on the phone with man like DJ Spookz. I'm going to get my little phone device set up here. This is my little phone device that I built out of a selfie stick and a mic clamp. So there we go. See, you can get creative in these unusual times. What we're going to be doing is jumping into this one. From T. Zandos and iSong. This one goes by the name of Diamonds. Absolutely loving this tune at the moment. Loving what T. Zandos is doing. And also really liking iSong on this one as well. So there we go. Don't go anywhere. If you're a new listener, as I've said before, please do subscribe to the channel. Makes a huge difference if everyone is subscribing. Means we can continue to grow. And if the subscriptions are seen to be coming from these live streams, it means the live streams will reach more people as we go forward. So there we go. Thanks to all your support so far. It's Brekky in the Cave. Myself, Kovu, in the hot seat. This one, Diamonds.
Rise, BK,
Zandos, I'm an average kid.
Christian lube in the hallway. How much red did I leave on this carpet?
Fendi T and kicks, or a trackie and the LV bit.
Scratch mixed it.
Now I get love from the PYTs.
No, I ain't one for liaising. I hate waiting round. I got 10 friends in a cannon, 5 of the 10 won't make it out. Fresh home linked up with He came back and he still does fidget. I said, Doc, I'm a healthy you. Look in my lungs, that's healthy spinach. I assure you, there's no cap in the fucking words that I fucking spit. I still do average settings. Zandos, I'm an average kid. Fendi T and kicks, or a trackie and the LV bit. I don't want this bitch, swing her to ice on quick. Pull up, shoot. Free bro, that's a violent you. I still scream free, my blood, just know he's a psycho too. I ain't a people's person, with T stop asking questions. I don't like friends and I don't have much, so my name I beg don't mention.
Big bands, now them girls start wildin'. Young boy from Sierra Leone, so how you gon' talk about diamonds? AMG in a coupe and the engine sounds like lions. Pull up with Zandos, they can't talk about riding. Yeah. Big bands, now them girls start wildin'. Young boy from Sierra Leone, so how you gon' talk about diamonds? AMG in a coupe and the engine sounds like lions. Pull up with Zandos, they can't talk about riding. Yeah. Christian lube in the hallway. How much red did I leave on this carpet? Step in the shrubs, big boy drip. Now your man's moody like Margaret. I came a long way from bummy. Now it's LV print on the garment. From young all I've known is jug. Been trying to find a way in like Marlon. Look, very important people. I roll with some VIPs back. Then I got left on red. Now I get love from the PYTs. Look, I don't roll around with small youths. Roll around with the BIGs. And I ain't got a lipe on track. I ain't never ran from the CID. But I ran from that Browning female. Cause that gal come way too clingy. So if you're gonna call my phone, please, babe, don't be silly. Cause I won't hesitate to decline. Blacked out whip, seat and recline. Engine rev, leaving behind. Gucci linen, check the design. Big bands, now them girls start wildin'. Young boy from Sierra Leone, so how you gon' talk about diamonds? AMG in a coupe and the engine sounds like lions. Pull up with Zandos, they can't talk about riding. Yeah. Big bands, now them girls start wildin'. Young boy from Sierra Leone, so how you gon' talk about diamonds? AMG in a coupe and the engine sounds like lions. Pull up with Zandos, they can't talk about riding. Yeah.
Right then, we are live on the line with man like DJ Spookz right about now. I can definitely hear someone in the background as well. But here we go. How are we doing this morning, sir? You all good?
Yeah, what's going on, bro? Sorry, man. That's my dog.
That's all right. That's all good, sir. So, how are you doing this morning, man?
Yeah, not bad, thanks, bro. Just you know, getting through the lockdown, trying to keep creative, positive, get outside when I can, a bit of exercise, normal stuff, really.
Good stuff, man. That's what I like to hear. I like to hear about people who are more than anything else, kind of like cracking on with it. You know what I mean? Like cracking on, and if anything, like kind of making do with what's currently going on. Like, how have you found things like music wise? Are you still finding yourself able to make music? You get involved with stuff?
Yeah, to be fair, it's a bit. I sort of create music to sort of as an escape anyway. So nothing's really changed there because, as you know, a lot of us are isolated when we make music on our own anyway. So yeah, apart from the family side and obviously the social side of things, nothing's really changed for me. I can still my studio is at my home. So I managed to get in the studio, get creative, and other than that, other than not going out or like planning to meet people and raves and stuff, it's pretty. If anything, it's kind of more productive because everyone's online, so you've got more opportunities to reach out and connect with people. So yeah.
Definitely, man. I think people are almost coming round to the idea that we're going to be in this scenario for a while, and we're starting to see a lot of people kind of actually pick up those projects or those ideas or those kind of like maybe those online courses or whatever that they weren't sure if they were going to actually have time to do. We're actually starting to see people start those things up now.
Yeah, that's it. That's the biggest, like for me, the positive from it is sort of everyone's had to take a step back from the everyday and sort of like realize what's more important and what they want to chase, what they're into. I think more about self-discovery. That's definitely, man.
Good stuff though. I mean, it's good to hear. We're here today obviously to kind of look through new music, look through projects you're working on. So first of all, this is a big question I always open streams up with, I always open interviews up with. For those that don't know, who is Spookz?
Yeah, okay, so Spookz is, when I was about, I think it was about 13 or 12, secondary school, year 8 or year 7, we started graffitiing, just in our books and stuff. And Spookz was a tag of mine that I just liked writing. And then I sort of, that same sort of era that we was just getting into grime and in crews and MCing and stuff like that. So yeah, basically that's my name, that's where it come from. And it just stuck with me from like MCing from a really young teen to go into the studio, learning how to make music and stuff. And yeah, that's basically where the name comes from.
Wicked. So I'm always a fan of this. So it was like I don't want to say a childhood nickname because a nickname kind of undersells it a bit, but it was what people knew you as when you were younger, essentially.
Yeah.
Good stuff. So how would you go from that scenario? Because you said you were doing primarily sort of graffiti and stuff and obviously rapping from a younger age as well. How do you kind of make that transition then from being sort of semi-interested in essentially the culture, realistically, by the sounds of it, and then kind of integrating fully into being a, what would be more classed as a sort of base level sort of producer?
Yeah, that's quite hard because it's been quite natural, to be honest. I was lucky enough in Slough, where I'm from, to be involved with a youth club that had studios. So I kind of got into music production, and then I moved from my area to Epping, and I met someone in Epping who was they were into like the pirate radio scene in London.
Okay.
I used to DJ and do a few managements on a few stations and help out here and there. And I used to go along, and it just blew my mind. So he said to me, look, we're going to do a station in Essex. Do you want to be part of it? So I was like, wow, of course. So I couldn't mix. I didn't know. I've always had decks. I've always had records, always collected grime, but I didn't really know how to mix. So he said, come and do this station with me and help me run it. And I jumped at the opportunity. And I think I was about 17 or 18. So, like, he said, you're going to have to learn to mix now, though. And I was like, yeah, of course. So, like, obviously... So
really getting thrown in at the deep end then, pretty much your first experience of doing radio full-time was actually almost like the live training more than anything else.
Yeah, that was it. Like, literally, the only sort of training I had was the graveyard shifts, which was on pirate radio. So every time I mixed, it was just practice, but it was live. So, like, yeah, I was thrown in at the deep end.
How did you find that learning-wise, though? Did you feel that the pressure of that being live to begin with actually helped?
To be fair, the pressure was immense, but yeah, of course, you learn that you get used to that. And also, like, the DJs around me, they were a lot older, a lot more experienced, and they were very nice and took me in and took me under their wing and showed me, you know, like, certain little things that some people might stand back and say, oh, he don't know what he's doing, or like take the mick or something. But at the time, I had quite a good group of DJs around me that just took me in and showed me and was like, don't worry, and have fun basically with it, don't worry. And that's what I've done, and yeah, I haven't really looked back.
So it sounds like almost like a perfect combination, because you have that sort of live element, that pressure, that sort of need to get it right from being on air as you're learning, but you also have like a good solid kind of structure, not structure in place as much, but you have like a good a set of ears to fall back on for advice.
Yeah, man, that's exactly it.
Wicked, man. I mean, it sounds like an absolute dream combo. You touched briefly as well on like being lucky enough to have a youth club in the area. What was the youth club called?
Yeah, it was cool. Well, we had many in the area. We were very lucky. We had one in every single area, to be honest. But the main one I went to was called Haymill Youth Centre. I think it's still open now.
Oh, wicked! I mean, that brings a lot of happiness to me to hear that the place you've kind of learnt in is still there. The one I went to a youth club myself when I was younger, that a lot of the sort of like big Brighton heads now all went to. It's not there anymore. So obviously, whenever we go past the area and see it's not there, it's quite sad. Like, just briefly, I'd quite like to touch on it. Like, how important do you think that youth centre was to your development from a young age?
Oh, it was. It's priceless, to be honest. You can't really, because to be fair, the school I went to as well, there was a few of us that they realised quickly that, we're interested in music. So they sort of struck up a thing with the youth centre that allowed us to leave school early on a Friday for an hour to go to the youth centre to get in the studio before it got booked out. So it's very important. Like, it kept us, of course, like now, it just kept us just on the right path, really, which was creativity, whether it's, you know, making music, DJing, playing football, like whatever anyone was doing, it was just at the youth centre. So yeah, it's so important.
So with that now, like how I don't want to say devastating, but how much of an impact do you think that so many youth centres are closing down is actually having on that sort of younger community?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's terrible. It's terrible. I think that, like I say, even where I live now in Epping in Essex, they haven't got no options for the youth at all. So it's like, you know, it's really key to keep the, like you said, like, you know, like a whole genre, as you like, grime, that basically was spawned from youth clubs. So definitely. If you know, so like, I don't know, take all of them away, like, it's just, yeah, it's hard. I'm 30 now, so it's kind of like I've got a 12-year-old, 13-year-old stepdaughter, and just her generation, it's all online, isn't it? So yeah, even if there was a youth centre now, I don't think like that people would want to reach out to it, because it's a different age.
Yeah, so it's a different age, and also as well, that sort of that sort of collaboration, that collaboration style of learning, which was such a big part of that sort of youth centre culture at the time. I don't necessarily think that would be there as much anymore, because so much collaboration is done over the internet, so much learning is done sort of online as well. It is sad though, man, because obviously I look back on that sort of youth club culture and look back with nothing but like admiration, especially for a lot of the workers that were working there at the time as well. I always look back on it and I'm always like, I do wish it had stayed open. It's somewhere that I would have liked to maybe gone back to, maybe volunteered at some point. But yeah, I mean, we're gonna keep the vibes rolling here. We're gonna jump into the first tune of the set you sent over. This one is from yourself and Sermo. Talk about how this one came together.
Yeah, okay, yeah, big up Sermo. So basically, I was collecting tracks for Low Pitched compilation, and I've been working, and we've been talking, me and Sermo, for a few years now, and we've been trying to get collabs going. And this collab, I had this idea, I sent it over to him, he sent me it back, and I was like, yeah, this is the one I'm going to put on compilation. So that's basically, that's how it got going, really, just collab.
Wicked, man. Well, we're going to get into this one next, and then we're going to talk about Low Pitch, talk about that sort of compilation specifically, and talk about the inception of the label as well. I'm always keen to hear about how people went about setting up labels as we go forward. So we're live on Cub Cam TV at Trickstar BTM. Why not? That's the normal station. At Cub KXVU. Is it at DJ_Spookz as well for yourself?
Yeah, it's _DJ_Spookz or DJ Spookz.
Good stuff.
With a Z.
We're going to get into this one now then. Don't go anywhere. It's Cub Cam TV. Sounds of Spookz and Sermo on that one with Down. Really, really cool tune there. We're live on COLLABING TV, all the way from the cave. We're live inside the building. Out to everyone locked in this morning. Please do let us know how you are feeling. Do hit that subscribe button and leave a like on the video as well. Why not, eh? It takes about half a second to do. So, Spookz, we're on the line with yourself. We're going to be looking next into Low Pitched. Obviously, quite a substantial label within bass music. One of the kind of like, I want to say forerunners for this now kind of era of bass music being pretty household in its input into sort of dance music as a whole. Like, how did you first come up with the sort of concept of the label?
Yeah, right. This is a crazy story, you know.
Okay.
But anyway,
that's what I'm here for. I'm here for the crazy stories.
Yeah. So basically, big up Sean D, Spectrum, aka Spectrum, if you remember Spectrum. He stopped producing that name now. He's an engineer, and basically he's I joined Mode FM and I started doing radio shows, and the one of the guys on there who was part of the management, Sean D, he said he was producing as well, and I met him via Mode, and he was like, I got a studio next door. So I was like, sick. So like we linked up, and we were basically just sitting there, and we were just like, I was like, I want to, like, they had their own label called MFR.
Okay.
And they were doing, like, they wanted to release grime with J Beats, big up J Beats, Limitless, big up Limitless, John James, Scope, and Sean. There's a few of them, and they're all, like, into different genres. So they had a label going with MFR doing all different genres. So I released British Already through them. But then after that, I started signing, like, they said, do you want to, like, help with the A&R side and sign certain things? I said, yeah, cool, like, help with Sean and sign, like, the bassier side of stuff. So I was like, yeah, I'm down for that. So we signed a few tracks, but there was kind of, like, they wanted to go more housey. There was kind of, like, they wanted to do their own thing. So me and Sean said, well, let's just do our own thing. So we sat there, and literally within 5 seconds, like, literally just we just thought of a name, Low Pitch, because of the bass. It's low, it's pitch down, and literally Sean banged up the logo on his Mac within 10 minutes, and that was it. It was sort of born like there and then in the studio.
So a real kind of like a studio inception, essentially, something that's literally come out of just being in the same room and vibing.
Yeah, exactly that. It was just there. Like, it was crazy.
Wicked, man. Well, I mean, that's really good to hear. Like, over the years, then, obviously, you've gone on to be quite like a substantial label in regards to the music you're putting out there. You're one of the kind of like household, I want to say bass more than funky to begin with, in the sort of sound. How do you then like go from alternating the sound to becoming more associated with that sort of UK funky boom?
Yeah, well, the thing with me is, I started playing bassline on pirate radio in 07, 08, like the original wave.
Yeah.
So I was always a bassline fan. And then when I met Sean, he was always like into his grime and like darker D&B and the darker side of stuff. So it was basically out of our sort of interest and our taste that we started, like, obviously at that time you had such a big boom of producers making this crazy bass sound, and it wasn't really nowhere for it to go. So it was like I was making tracks in 2010 and 2011, and there wasn't really this scene of bass. It was just funky garage, like grind, dubstep. There wasn't this like mixture. So it was like, that's what we sort of wanted to do, is just put out on low pitch, like represent what we like and what's kind of happening, but not really worrying on what's really happening or what's popular. Just sort of pushing that bass sound, like give it a home basically, like somewhere for people to go to and know that they're going to go to low pitch, there's going to be hard bass. And so yeah, so really with it from switching from that to the funky side is really, Sean basically had to step aside because he's an engineer and he was signed to Sony, and he's very busy doing all of his stuff.
I mean, there's worse things that could happen, you know. He has to have to step aside.
Yeah, big up Sean D. If you hear, like, he's behind so many massive tracks right now, it's unreal. He's plaques on his wall, like behind big artists like M. Huncho, he's Nath Smalls, and he branched off and done the Plug Records. Big up the Plug Records. They're doing massive things, man. So so he basically stepped aside and said to me, like, oh, like, you just run with it. So obviously me being into funky and obviously the new funky boom as such, but I've always made funky. I've got hard drives full of it that no one's heard, and it's all, but again, the funky I was making back then wasn't funky, it was more hard bass funky, like funky bass. So I thought, if Sean stepped aside and now it's up to me, then, and again, there's nowhere really, as you know, like, there's only a few labels that are pushing the harder funky bass sound. So like, it was just a natural progression for me to use low pitch to push that new funky bass sound, and still staying within the bass, you know, scene.
That sort of sphere more than anything else, and still remaining relevant in that scene, but just taking a bit of a new direction and bringing in a new kind of element to what you were releasing.
Yeah, man.
Good stuff. So we're going to jump into a tune next. This one goes by the name of "Bring the Beat Back." Talk to me about this one.
Yeah, okay, so this one was off of my Bring the Beat Back EP on No Hats, No Hoods, Big Up Magic. Again, this is an EP that I put out in 2013 with a grime label, if you know, we probably do, No Hats, No Hoods.
Yeah, cool. I'd put that down in that sort of OG legendary bracket, if I'm honest with you.
Yeah, for me, like, to have a release on that label was just dreams come true, so... because it wasn't really grime, you know, it was kind of in between bass. I don't really know, like, it's quite a experimental EP I tried, and Magic liked it and he signed it and he released it, and yeah, this is it. Bring the beat back.
There we go. Good stuff. Don't go anywhere. We're live on COLLABING TV. We're going to jump into this one, and it's going to be very enjoyable indeed. Hit that subscribe button, hit the like button as well. Don't go anywhere.
DJ Spookz.
DJ Spookz.
Right then, we are on the line with man like DJ Spookz, having a bit of a look back at the history of label sort of work, having a look back at almost like the early sort of roots of Bassline and Funky's link up, which has been very enjoyable to watch. Wicked tune, that one entitled "Bring the Beat Back." So moving forward, I want to kind of talk about the work with 440 as well. Obviously, quite another very established label, another label that really is kind of like rooted into sort of UK bass culture. And I want to talk about this tune, Ninja Man, which is a huge tune, a huge collaboration. Talk me through what's happened with this one.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Big up 440 Records, big up Tom, and big up James, aka Hybrid Theory, and big up John as well, not forgetting. But yeah, basically, I had a release in 2012 called Turntable EP on 440, which was kind of on the harder funky side as well. But yeah, this Jaguar Skills collab, it kind of, he messaged me and said, "Oh, big up, I've been spinning some of your tracks, like, do you want to do a collab?" So I was just like, wow, this is mad. I didn't even know Jag was even like into that sort of bass music.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at Jaguar Skills, he's in that sort of bracket of, for me anyway. I may be slightly wrong on my perception of this, but I've always got the impression Jaguar Skills is one of those more sort of big festival sort of DJs. You know what I mean? He's someone that will play these big stages, the sort of similar sort of bracket to maybe like Too Many DJs or like Scratch Perverts or people like that.
Yeah, man, he's for me, he's like he's his own artist as a DJ, and yeah, for me, he's massive. Like, he plays all the main festivals, you know, like he's my mum's favorite DJ. So it's like,
oh, wow, I mean, that must have been a good conversation.
Yeah, it was mad because my mum, I can't remember the year, but she went and see, I think it was Chase and Status at O2 Arena in London, and he was supporting, and she come out and she was just like, "Oh, who was that DJ? Like, that was my favorite DJ," because obviously he plays madness, he plays all this different types, you know, old tunes mixed with new, and obviously yeah, it's like, so she was loving it. So yeah, when that come through and I said to her, she was over the moon. I was just like, yeah, this is crazy. Like, so yeah, he just hit me up. I just bounced some stems to him, he bounced them back, and then 440 was interested and they put it out. And obviously we had the remix package that followed up with Barely Royal, and I can't think of Mantra done a remix too, a DMB mix.
Wicked, man. I mean that must have been, if you were going to like rank sort of collaborations and sort of stuff like that, how high would this one be on the list? That's
my biggest one for me, yeah.
Awesome, man. Like, I mean, are you still in contact with Jaguar Skills? Is it something are you going to be working on more stuff together? Like what's been the sort of fallout from this? Like, what's happened since?
Yeah, like, I mean, he's such a cool guy. Like, we're still like still keeping contact. I was in contact. There's meant to be a tour coming. I was meant to go and support him on his tour, but it's not obviously what's happened. I'm not sure what's happening. So
yeah, obviously. Other
than that, but yeah, he's a cool guy, man. Like, I'm hoping maybe we can get maybe another track together in the future.
Awesome. I think when you're putting together collaborations like this as well, like when you were putting the stems back and forward, were you looking through sort of his sort of back catalogue of music, or were you pretty much just making exactly what you wanted to make regardless?
Literally, I was in between studios. I've only had my studio built for like a year, so okay. I was literally on a laptop and I had so many ideas and stems. I just bounced him so many ideas over. I didn't even think like, oh, is this like? I didn't even look into it really. I just bounced him whatever I had, and he picked one. And I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Oh, so you sent him over like a selection of different like projects?
Yeah, just a selection. Yeah.
Wicked, man. Well, we're going to finish up the interview with this tune here, Ninja Man. But before that, I want to kind of look into what's on the way in the future. Obviously, the lockdown scenario kind of has things a little bit skew-ish, shall we say. No one really knows when this is going to be finished or whatever. But they're just under the impression that it finishes, let's say, within 2 months. What's the sort of long-term plan for yourself and for Low Pitched as well?
Yeah, well, for myself, to be fair, I'm still studying and learning and just trying to take my production to the next level. I've got so much tracks ready to, mix, mastered and release, but I don't, it's kind of, it's nothing's ever ready to the producer, is it? Like, you're like, no, it's not ready. There's a few projects there that I'm working on. Big up Tyrant, I'm working on a project of him. That should be coming out in the future this year, definitely at some point. I've got a few more collabs in the pipework with Sermo, and most of them will probably come out on Low Pitched. We've got a few tracks on the funky bass front all ready to go, but I'm just waiting to sort of pattern that together. But yeah, so just more releases. I was meant to play out in Ukraine on the 27th of March in Kiev. That obviously didn't happen, so hopefully that will be replanned. That's quite mad out there. Big up the guys out there. They're doing quite big things for like the UK scene. They're putting on loads of events and stuff and taking a few artists. I was going
to say, I'm seeing a lot of people, especially UK bass artists, as much. Obviously, I feel maybe 4 years ago, it was maybe dubstep that was like the big thing that people were still getting flown out to that sort of Eastern Europe sort of side of things for playing shows. It does seem to be that funky and bassline is like the place, that's the sort of genre out there that they're bringing people over for.
Yeah, to be fair, I played in I played in Belarus a couple of years ago, and it's all they're really, what really dominates over there? It's rap. And okay. What they really love is grime. Like, to be fair, I think most of the people that book us, as you say, bass or funky artists, but really it's grime that sort of open them up to what we do. Okay. So like, for instance, the set I played for them last time, they don't really know what this music is. Like, they like it, but they don't really, they've probably never heard of it. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah. You're kind of educating them on a level of like, this is just bass music, but they don't really like, they don't really know the concept too much. You know what I'm saying? Like, the people that book you do, but obviously the crowd, they're not really.
They're not exactly fanatics of, like, you know what I mean? They're not going to know the catalogue number of maybe Low Pitched 003 or something like that.
Yeah, so like it's wicked. That's what I love to do, is just, go out and push new sounds to new crowds, whether that be in England or wherever. Like, that to me is what I love doing. And yeah, so out there it's like grime opened the door, and drum and bass as well, massive out there. Huge. Like, and then you get obviously people and artists that are into that the other genres get brought over, and then they love the hard music basically. If it's hard, they love it.
Wicked, man. Well, we're gonna finish up with this one. We're gonna finish up with Ninja Man. I tell you what, it's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you this morning, man. Thank you for taking the time out of your day. What are you up to for the rest of the day?
I'm just gonna maybe do a bit of gardening, listen to some music, and get some vitamin D. That's about it.
Nice one, man. Well, enjoy the rest of your day. We're going to finish up with this one more time quickly. What are the best social media tags for people to get you on moving forward?
Yeah, just DJ Spookz with a Z on any platform. TikTok as well. I know it's a bit of a new one, but
how are you finding TikTok? Just before we finish off, because I'm seeing so many people moving over to it during this lockdown. It's starting to become tempting, and that's the weird thing.
Well, as a consumer, it's quite mad. Like, if you sit there, everything goes there first. Like, if you like someone say in a WhatsApp group or send me a video on Facebook, and I'm like, oh, I see that, like, 3-4 hours ago on TikTok. It's like everything's so fast on there, and like it's a bit. I like it because it's based around music. So like you got the dancing, you got so there's a lot more content on there. But as an artist, again, it's great, I think, to be on there because you can just search your music and it's already in there. So you can take clips of as like if you release through distributor, they deliver it to TikTok as well. So
yeah, of course.
Yeah, so for me personally, I don't sit on it long, but I definitely have a profile on there, and I'm trying to follow whoever's coming on there, like from the scene and from the UK and around the world. Who's into
would it be something you recommend artists to get involved with sooner rather than later? 1,000,000%,
100,000,000%. Because the reason is the next generation are on there, ain't they? So
yeah,
that's like it. They're not on Facebook, they're not on Instagram, they're on TikTok. So if you want your music to be heard by the next generation or like a different
demographic altogether.
Different demographic. Yeah, then I think TikTok at the moment is the next one to start putting your music onto. But like I say, a lot of your music is already on there.
Yeah. So it isn't a case of having to upload it and get it sort of verified and stuff like that. The maddest thing for me is I've found is to me I was still getting used to Instagram being the thing that everyone used as their standard thing. I was still getting used to that, and now it's TikTok for a whole new generation. It's an absolute madness. Anyway, before we run out of time, we're going to run this tune, dude. It's been an absolute pleasure, and we'll speak soon.
Yes, best brother.
Thanks for coming on. See you later.
Andrew, cheers, mate. Bye.
Bless. Shouts out to Spookz for jumping on the line. Really cool chat there. Looking again into sort of like rootsy knowledge. Stuff that everyone needs to know. This one, Ninja Man, alongside Jaguar Skills. Real journey of a tune, this one. Don't go anywhere, we're going to be talking about loads of things still. Still got about 20 minutes of the show left, so keep it locked.
Jaguar Skills, on to some word, for the blood clot, is after Some boy go like and them alone of the music for kills. I wanna pound cloud of them Jaguar skills. Big up DJ Spookz.
Wicked tune, that one. Ninja Man, we are live on Cubcam TV. That one featuring Jaguar
Ninja
Skills.
Man
Out to all the crew locked in this morning. If you are locking in for the first time, please do make sure you are hitting that subscribe button, leaving a like on the video as well. We want to hit those algorithms. We want to hit them hard, and we want to make sure we are promoting the show as much as possible. As I said before, the more people that lock in, the bigger guests we can get, then we can grow this into a genuinely, it's already exciting, but I mean, an even more exciting platform. And yeah, we can do more and more and more with it. But there we go. Make sure you do follow DJ Spookz, and it's DJ_Spookz, I believe, on Twitter, and I think it's DJ Spookz with a Z on Instagram. As well as that, make sure you follow Low Pitched, as I said before, a very foundational label in the history of bass music within the UK. They've put out some of the biggest releases over the years, and they've just always been a solid, reliable label for newer artists and up-and-coming artists to release on. There's never like a miss of a release. Every release is a solid one, which is a very good position to be in from a label perspective, in my opinion anyway. But yeah, there we go. We've got loads of music to get into. Now, next Friday, we are going to be joined by Kid D. I'm really excited to talk to him. Obviously, someone who's been involved in grime for an extended period of time, primarily from that sort of production angle, but he has had a few vocals drop as well, including this one. So we're going to be talking to him next Friday. This Friday, however, we are going to be joined by Fork and Knife, talking about his new release on Cocobolo Sound alongside Rame, and it's full of remixes as well. I believe there's a Jake Bob one on there. There's an Opus one on there as well. A really good mix and blend of different styles. That's coming up on Friday. As I said before, we're taking the shows very, very seriously. We're getting as many guests in as possible, really, really stretching the feelers out and getting as many interesting interviews as we can. That one, for instance, really interesting stuff. I didn't actually realise how many people had actually been through Low Pitched, how important that was, and I didn't actually realise that in regards to Spookz' come up, I didn't realise he actually was someone who learned on pirate radio. That to me is a really interesting concept. And again, it's one I think I might have to revisit at a later time. I'm going to have to make a list of all the interviews that we need to revisit at a later time. But there we go. Let's get into this one then from Kid D. This one is Bring It On. Don't go anywhere. New listeners, please do hit that subscribe button. We are live on Cubcam TV. It's Brekky in the Cave, and we are live in the building till 11:30.
Up to the most high, cause we got love and flavours. We billing them dangs, we ain't smoking no vapors. I think I'm feeling myself, I feel like one of the greatest. My music's a mazza, just watch how it fits in your playlist. I put beats and bars and strategize, yeah man's aiming. Do not show me your dead sound, I ain't the one you should play with. It's 2020, I ain't got no time for you jokers. About ops with who? Go smoke a spliff, about smoke us. You're in tune to the livest jigger, I hope that you're hearing me properly. Divine intelligence guiding, different place, star chase when I'm flying. Stacking up rhythms, new sound multiplying. I'll be back soon, yeah man's arriving. Dipping out quay from sirens, peaceful place, I'm vibrant. Yeah, tick-tock, the clocks ain't stopping. Don't waste no time, start plotting. Go get what you want, invest in bonds. Stacking money up to the ceiling. New sound that I got, it relates to the world, it's so damn appealing. Show them all what you got, take time when I block, but make sure you do it with meaning.
Bring it on, yeah, yeah, yeah. Time don't stop, don't be waiting on the clock. Bring it on, yeah, yeah. Living life on the top, now the grind don't stop. Bring it on, yeah, yeah, yeah. Time don't stop, don't be waiting on the clock. Bring it on, yeah, yeah. Living life on the top, now the grind don't stop.
I'm cool and calm and breezy with it. Negative vibes can't see me in it. Mad with the flow, man's easy with it. Built for the ting like I'm meant to win it. Motherfucker wanna know what I'm doing. When I step into the booth, it's non-stop slewing. I don't fuck with a man, you can't bring that crew in. My chakras align from the time that I flew in. Them man I spit non-stop nonsense. 10 toes, 10 what, get a job then. Flip P's, get G's, go above them. Family comes first, you gotta love them. We all do it for our sons and our daughters. Gotta think twice before crossing them borders. Serious choices, you know what we taught us. You gotta just listen to the chorus.
Bring it on, yeah, yeah, yeah. Time don't stop, don't be waiting on the clock. Bring it on, yeah, yeah. Living life on the top, now the grind don't stop. Bring it on, yeah, yeah, yeah. Time don't stop, don't be waiting on the clock. Bring it on, yeah, yeah. Living life on the top, now the grind don't stop.
How are we doing this morning? That one there coming from Kid D, track entitled Bring It On. Wicked flavours on that one. Thank you to all the locked in crew this morning. As you know, we're trying to do a very special breakfast show here, bringing you positive energy. Now, I don't know if this next one is a positive or a negative. However, NASA's lunar telescope will make the moon look like the Death Star. Oh, this is where we are. NASA has an idea to put a telescope on the moon, and we can't help but think it looks a bit like Star Wars, if I'm honest with you. Looking at it, it really, really does. It's got like, everyone knows what the Death Star looks like. It's a big circle in the sky, and it's got that little dent in the side of it. And I won't lie, the patterns and the designs for this look exactly the same. I can't get away from it. The dark side of the moon has been picked as the perfect spot for an observatory because it is permanently quiet and has an uninterrupted view of space. The idea is to situate the 1 kilometre wide telescope array inside the crater, giving the moon a bit of a Death Star vibe. It will be called the Lunar Crater Radio Telescope, the LCRT, and the project has been granted $125,000 from NASA's Innovative Advanced Concepts program so that it can be developed further. The idea was originally thought to have been thought up by NASA roboticist scientist Saptarshi Bandyopadhyay. I think that's how you pronounce it. We will mostly be focusing on the mechanical design of the LCRT, searching for suitable craters on the moon and comparing the performance of the LCRT against other ideas that have been proposed in the literature, he explained. So there we go. Interesting stuff. The moon's going to be the Death Star. That's the next level of, all these videos we see on Twitter or Facebook or whatever, and it'll be, you saw this, and you thought it couldn't get any worse, and then it's like, then just some bad scene from a film in a picture. That's pretty much what this is. The Death Star is coming, people. It is coming, and we can't get away from it. But there we go. Let's jump into this one next then. A tune that I'm really, really enjoying over the past few days, and realistically the past couple of weeks since it's been in my selection. I haven't played it too much, however. This next one coming from Jodan and Mind of a Dragon, a real exclusive tune here. I don't think that many people have it, so it's proper In The Cave exclusive. That's what we're trying to do this morning. This one goes by the name of Reckless, and it's a very unique take on UKG. Very choppy and really cool collaboration sounds from Jodan and Mind of a Dragon. It goes by the production credits on it is Modan. So there we go. M.O.A.D.A.N. Good stuff. Don't go anywhere. We're live on Cubcam TV. It's Brekky In The Cave. I hope you're enjoying the show.
Watch out.
Really groovy flavours on this one from Jodan and Mind of a Dragon. Loving this one. Really creative sounds on it as well. Moving away from that more sort of classic sort of chord-led sort of leading sounding garage that we are hearing a lot of at the moment. But yeah, really, really cool vibes on this one. I'm very much enjoying it. Out to all the locked-in crew, as I said before, we do normally run the show over on Trickstar Radio, but for the last month or so, we've been here on COLLABING TV, primarily because we can't get into the station, obviously due to lockdown, and we want to be following the guidelines, and we want to make sure we're keeping as many people safe as possible. So, in general as well, you can check back on all of the podcasted shows over on Spotify, Apple Music, and SoundCloud as well. You can literally just type in the phrase "Breakfast with KXVU," the interviews. Everything comes up in one big playlist, and everything's there available to listen to. There's loads of interesting conversations there. Every show we do on this gets put up there as well. There's going to be a couple of old archive shows that I found as well, which will be going up there soon as well as that. And also this channel is going to continue to grow and expand as we keep moving forward, because there is so much to talk about. You know, we're going to be moving into these new top 5 videos that I've been working on the past few days. We're going to keep doing sort of sample pack videos and things like that. We have got loads of new music dropping as well over the next few weeks. We're going to continue with the gaming videos as well as that. We're going to be looking into sort of more Third Age. We're going to be looking into more Minecraft, more Fortnite videos as well, more poker videos. If you haven't seen the poker videos because they haven't gone online yet, you'll see more about it soon. But we have been playing poker as well, so there's going to be some of that stuff on there as well. There's just loads of stuff on the way, so do subscribe to the channel, listening crew. There is loads of stuff that I feel that people will very much enjoy as we move forward. So this next one coming from Jada Kingdom. This one's a track entitled Warning. This is going to be the second to last tune we play today before we round up the show. Playing a real mix of flavours and vibes so far on Brekky, and I'm really, really enjoying the fact we can really, really push the boat out with what we're playing. So don't go anywhere.
My price gone up, the whole of them are running. Everything when me have them are free. Ready, I run away, I'm go sleep. Pass your place and your face get slapping. Cause a girl like me, they can study, they never know say me have it. They must have imagine on the fuck me still have money. So madam, but respect this of it. You know the damn thing. Mama tell you something about me. I don't fuck around with fake energy. I bet that's why we have to deal with them drastic. Hey, let me take you back to the basics. Anybody will licky and I safe with no. For one thing, I know my God never feel me yet. But me not drop my God nonetheless. So if you feel like something, I hold no mess. When you come to the test, you might lose your best. Tell you something about me. I don't fuck around with fake energy. I bet that you're gonna know. Try grab from around you, so I've stopped.
Wicked flavours on this one from Jada Kingdom, track entitled Warning. Haven't spun this one in a couple of days, but really been enjoying it when we haven't been on the show. How's everyone's playlists looking? Because I feel obviously we're not going out to work, we're not setting up our playlist for the next day. I feel it's very much, if we're listening to music, we're listening to it from home, which actually was the reason we saw a genuine dip in streaming figures as this sort of situation came into play. But I feel it is kind of leveling out now. People are out there again looking for new music. It's part of my routine now. Once I finish this show, I do literally go straight onto the internet, look for any releases that have dropped in the last 24 hours across all genres and try and find some new stuff. You know what I mean? I think it's a good thing to do. We want to have fresh music every day here on The Breakfast Show. This week we've been playing a lot of stuff that we have already played before, but I'm trying to keep it as updated as possible. So let's talk about what's on the way tomorrow as we are about to finish up today's show. Tomorrow we're going to be joined by Boudica, really exciting Brighton-based artist who has been making a real name for herself with a very unique style. We're going to be talking to her about her brand new album, which did drop on Friday, looking through all of the different pieces, all the different music videos she's putting together for it, all the different branding behind it, and trying to get across the message of what she's trying to put forward with this album as we go forward. On Thursday, we're going to be joined by Mia Blankson, who is, again, a Brighton-based singer-songwriter who's got some really cool stuff floating around. We're going to be getting into her new music. We're going to be running a few bits exclusively, and when I say exclusive, I mean I got sent it this morning from her engineer. That's how exclusive the stuff is. We're going to be listening to stuff for the first time ever, and it's going to be really enjoyable to do. So I am very much looking forward to that show on Thursday. And then on Friday, we're going to be joined by Fork and Knife alongside Duke Sky, of course, our Fresh Fridays resident. We're going to be looking through all of the latest releases and also talking to Fork and Knife about his recent release on Coca Bolo Sound. Coca Bolo Sound themselves will then join us the following week. There's loads of stuff on the way. As I've said, please do subscribe to the channel. There's loads of stuff that people, I think, are going to be enjoying as we move forward. But yeah, that's it from me for today. Massive shouts out to everyone who has been locked in this morning. Huge shouts to DJ Spookz. Make sure you go and follow him at DJ Spookz or at DJ_Spookz. It's one of those, depending on which platform it is. We are going to be finishing off with this one next from one of my favourite artists in the world, without a shadow of a doubt. This one comes from a man like Burland with his remix of Baba Mamoon Sound with Speaker Man Sound, by Baba Mamoon. Wicked tune, this one, and it's a perfect way to round up what is going to be looking like a very bright and colourful day. As we can see, I keep my window closed, as you can see behind there, because otherwise it streams into the camera, but it is looking like a very bright day out there. I've got to go shopping later as well, which is not fun. I don't look forward to shopping, but it's got to be done. So there we go. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you same time tomorrow morning. That is 10 till 11:30 in the AM, and I hope everyone has had a very enjoyable morning. Don't go anywhere. It's Brekky in the Cave.
يطير الغابة بابا ميمون وابقناوة بابا ميمون يا ابواب الكون وابقناوة وابقناوة قناوة يا قناوة يطير الغابة بابا ميمون قناوة وابلاده يا بابا ميمون يا فوق الغابة وابلاده سير وجهنا وابقنا وابلانا يا بابا يا فوق الغابة ورجال الغابة يا الله يا سيدي you know.